When baseball royalty starts pointing fingers away from the field and toward the front office, you know something's broken in the Bronx. Two Yankees legends just revealed what might be the real reason this team keeps falling short when it matters most, and if they're right, the problem runs deeper than any single player or any single season. Hello, Yankees universe. Welcome to NYY News Today, your go-to spot for the latest New York Yankees updates. If you've been watching this team crumble in October year after year, you've probably asked yourself the same question every fan is screaming right now: who's actually running this team? Well, Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez just gave us their answer, and it's not what the front office wants you to hear. Before we dive into this bombshell, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest Yankees news. Trust me, you'll want to stay plugged in for what's coming. Let's set the scene. The Yankees just got eliminated from the ALDS by the Toronto Blue Jays, who won the series 3-1. The Bronx faithful watched another team celebrate on their sacred field, and the frustration is boiling over. Fans want answers, and during the FS1 postgame show, Derek Jeter didn't hold back. Jeter made it crystal clear. He doesn't think Aaron Boone is the one calling the shots. "I'm not saying it from any inside knowledge," Jeter said, "but I'm pretty sure Aaron's not the one that's calling every move that they make throughout the game. That's not just a casual observation. That's the captain essentially saying Boone is a puppet and someone else is pulling the strings from an office higher up in the stadium." And Jeter wasn't alone. Alex Rodriguez backed him up, but A-Rod went even further. He didn't just defend Boone, he torched the front office for the roster they handed him. "For me personally, one of the worst constructions of a roster I've ever seen," Rodriguez said on air. "You have 3 left-handed catchers, you have 5 DHs, you have a first baseman in and out. It's just a very, very difficult hand for Boone." Think about that for a second. Two of the greatest Yankees of all time are publicly saying the manager isn't the problem, the people building the team are. That's not a hot take from a random analyst. That's Hall of Fame credibility calling out Brian Cashman and the Yankees front office. But here's where it gets complicated. Suzyn Waldman, the longtime radio voice of the Yankees, pushed back hard against this narrative. Speaking on WFAN, Waldman argued that Boone isn't just a yes man. Instead, she says he's in lockstep with Cashman and the analytics department. "He believes everything they believe," Waldman explained. She described how Boone's entire interview process was built around aligning his decision-making with the front office's analytical approach. "He matched them all the time," she said. "He thinks just like the front office." So which is it? Is Boone a powerless figurehead taking orders from upstairs, or is he a true believer who genuinely agrees with every move the front office makes? Either way, the message is the same. The Yankees aren't being managed by one person with a clear vision, they're being managed by committee. And as we've seen, that committee keeps failing when the stakes are highest. This isn't just drama for the sake of drama. If Jeter and A-Rod are right, this reveals a fundamental flaw in how the Yankees operate. When you have a manager who either can't make his own decisions or won't make his own decisions, you lose something critical in October baseball: adaptability. Playoff baseball is about adjustments. It's about reading the room, feeling the momentum, and making gut calls that analytics can't always predict. If Boone is constantly looking over his shoulder or waiting for approval from the analytics team, he's already a step behind. And we've seen that play out repeatedly. Questionable bullpen decisions, bizarre lineup choices, a complete inability to manufacture runs when the long ball isn't working. The roster construction issue A-Rod mentioned is just as damning. 3 left-handed catchers, 5 designated hitters. That's not building a balanced, versatile team that's stockpiling assets and hoping they figure it out. The Blue Jays exposed that lack of balance. They had depth, they had versatility, and they had a clear identity. The Yankees, they had a collection of guys who couldn't cover for each other's weaknesses. And here's the part that should terrify Yankees fans. This isn't new. This has been the pattern for years. The Yankees build teams that look great on paper, mash in the regular season, and then get outplayed, outmanaged, and out-executed in October. If the same people keep making the same mistakes, why would next year be any different? Do you think the front office will actually change their approach, or are we just going to see the same formula fail again next October? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's take it back for a minute, because this isn't how the Yankees used to win championships. When Joe Torre was managing the dynasty teams, he had autonomy. He had a feel for the game that the front office trusted. Sure, Brian Cashman built incredible rosters, but Torre was the one making in-game decisions without someone hovering over his shoulder with a spreadsheet. Compare that to now. Boone came into this job in 2018, and from day one, the narrative has been that he's Cashman's guy, a manager who wouldn't rock the boat or challenge the front office's analytics-first philosophy. And what's happened since then? 0 World Series titles, multiple embarrassing playoff exits, a fan base that's gone from hopeful to furious. This isn't about being anti-analytics. The Dodgers use analytics. The Rays use analytics. The Astros use analytics. But those teams also have managers who can adjust on the fly and aren't afraid to deviate from the script when the situation demands it. The Yankees, they stick to the plan even when the plan is clearly failing. Here's another historical parallel: the late 2000s Yankees. After the dynasty ended in 2000, the Yankees kept trying to buy their way back to the top. They signed big names, spent massive money, and kept falling short. It wasn't until they retooled their entire organizational philosophy, drafting and developing guys like Jeter, Posada, Rivera, and Pettit, that they won again in 2009. If history is any guide, this current approach isn't going to work either. So where do the Yankees go from here? If Jeter and A-Rod are right, the first question is whether Hal Steinbrenner is willing to make real changes. Firing Boone would be the easy move, but it wouldn't solve anything. If the next manager is just another front office yes man, the results will be exactly the same. The real question is whether Cashman's job is safe. He's been the general manager since 1998, and while he built some great teams early in his tenure, his recent track record in October is abysmal. Since 2017, the Yankees have exactly 0 championships to show for all their spending and all their talent. At some point, ownership has to ask, is this the right person to lead this organization forward? Then there's the roster itself. A-Rod called it one of the worst constructed rosters he's ever seen. If the Yankees don't address their lack of balance this offseason, they're going to run into the same problems next year. They need versatile players who can play multiple positions, switch-hitting bats who can adapt to different pitching matchups, and starting pitchers who can eat innings in October. Right now, they have none of that. Here's the scary part. Even if the Yankees make changes, there's no guarantee it works. The Blue Jays are getting better. The Orioles are loaded with young talent. The Rays are always dangerous. The AL East is a gauntlet, and the Yankees are stuck in neutral while everyone else is accelerating. But if they don't make changes, if they just run it back with the same front office philosophy, the same roster construction issues, and the same lack of in-game adaptability, then Yankees fans better get used to watching other teams celebrate in the Bronx every October. Here's the bottom line. 2 Yankees legends just told us what we've all been suspecting. The manager isn't the problem, the system is. Whether Boone is a puppet or a true believer doesn't really matter. What matters is that the Yankees keep losing when it counts, and the people in charge keep making the same mistakes. So here's my question for you. Do you think the Yankees will actually make real changes this offseason, or are we just going to see the same circus again next year? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to NYY News Today, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. The offseason is going to be wild, and you'll want to be here for every second of it. Thanks for watching Yankees Universe. Until next time, let's hope the front office is listening, because legends like Jeter and A-Rod don't speak out unless something's seriously wrong.